Hi everybody, I'm Matthew Dixon, the founder of eBay.io cryptocurrency ratings, and I'm pleased to join you today and bring you the latest traders report on 3.0 TV. So I'm going to go through a number of assets today, a number of crypto assets and even traditional assets, and look at divergence signals. We're at a bit of a crossroads in the market, hard to know quite where we're going. So we've obviously come from the all-time high on Bitcoin around 124,000. Currently 111,000. We dipped to about 108,000 over the last few days. So it's just beginning to pick up again. But is that pickup going to be sustained, or is it going to be a turning point anytime soon to turn back lower? So I often look at divergent signals. They're quite accurate. So for example, we had one here where we had basically higher lows in price and we had lower lows in corresponding RSI, which is a momentum oscillator. Um, and basically, what it tells us here is this is called hidden bullish divergence. It's telling you actually that the price is going to continue higher in line with this trend here. So from this point here, we are likely to get a movement up in price, and we can see that is precisely what happened. We got a good movement up in price, but right now we have an opposing divergence signal where we have lower highs in price and higher highs in corresponding RSI. That basically tells you that the market is running out of steam here, and we should actually get this one is hidden bearish divergence. In fact, so this was hidden bullish divergence. This one is hidden bearish divergence, and tells you that from this point we could well get a movement down in price, and that's begun to happen. These signals, they're not 100% accurate. You normally need to look at other signals in conjunction with them to try to get a clear picture. But that's Bitcoin at the moment. As I say, it's showing some hidden bearish divergence, telling you that price may actually continue on to the downside. So let's look at some other assets. I'll look at Ethereum next. And Ethereum is showing us a similar picture here, where basically we have lower highs in price and corresponding higher highs in RSI. This is hidden bearish divergence again, and it's telling you price is likely to turn down from this very point here. And that's precisely what it's done. We've had two 4-hour candles so far to the downside. So again, one signal alone isn't definitive. It's helpful to get more than one signal. Let's just see how this continues. Let's see how this 4-hour candle finishes. Very often at the beginning of the week, we get a counter directional move from what happened in the week before. So last week we had quite a big sell-off in crypto markets, and we had an outflow from the ETFs, Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So that was a negative basically scenario last week. We may get a reversal this week, but as I say, at the moment we're seeing some bearish divergent signals. So even if we look at Solana, the next one I've got on the queue here, again we have hidden bearish divergence. So again, we've got lower highs in price, corresponding higher highs in RSI. So that tells us that we should get from this point here a movement down in price, and that's precisely what we're seeing so far. And actually, we do appear to have what looks like possibly an A, B, C. It's certainly a three-wave move up at the moment in Solana. So being a three-wave move, that is normally against the trend, that's corrective, and we should actually then resume downward movement to below this point. That's according to these signals. So as I say, this hidden bearish divergence signal could actually carry through and bring us some lower prices. We hope not, of course, but that looks as though that's the case at the moment. Same with XRP. Actually, I say the same. It's not actually the same with XRP. It's the one asset I've seen that stands out at the moment because we have, for example, here, we've got lower highs in price. But we actually also have, well, we've actually got break even RSI momentum. So we don't yet have any signal, any divergent signal here. So the one that stands out of them all at the moment is XRP. And that actually aligns with a massive inflow. I think it was a 79 million purchase of XRP over the weekend, which raised the price. And it's obviously ensured that we don't have a divergent signal. So as I say, the one that stands out, and it really fits in with the fundamental, the fact that there's a massive inflow into XRP over the weekend. So just shows how accurate these technical signals are and how they relate to fundamental happenings in the market. So moving on to Link. Again, with Link, we have yet again a bearish divergence signal, yet again, possibly an ABC higher here. I'm hoping that this may be overall, we've got a large A wave down. From this wave 3 I've got labeled here, a large A wave down, a B wave up, that's a 3-wave B wave up, and then a 1, 2, and I'm hoping the 3 was here, an ABC 4, a 5th wave would take us to new lows. That would then eliminate the divergence, but I'm just saying that potentially this is just a correction higher. We could push lower again. Again, not particularly what we don't want to see. And what was interesting here, though, we had wave 1 down, I've got labeled, then wave 2 up. So I measured wave 1, transposed it to the top of wave 2 here, and it gave us actually a satisfactory ending potentially to wave 3 here at 1.618 times wave 1. That's the golden ratio. That's a very, very common relationship. But although it looks as though that's the end of wave 3, I'm suspecting actually that wave 3 is made up of wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So this would actually be wave 3 and not this. So although this is basically it was conning us, trying to indicate this may have been the end of wave 3, but I think the wave 3 end was actually here. Then ABC up for wave 4, and then possibly a push down in wave 5. That should then give us a good turnaround, a good longer term turnaround for these crypto assets. So I'm just expecting, according to all these divergent signals and according to the actual wave count, I think we may well get some further movement down for the time being. Same story with Jasmine. We actually had here a bullish divergence signal. This was actually a regular bullish divergence signal where we got lower lows in price and corresponding higher lows in RSI. That told us we were going to get a reversal from here. Precisely what happened. But again, it's basically a 3-wave move up at the moment. So we still potentially have another push down also. So maybe this wave 3 can be moved over to here. And wave 5 might be further down. So we could move that. Again, we had that beautiful measured wave 1 transposed to wave 2. Beautiful 1.618 gave us the potential for wave 3 there. But again, it looks as though the wave 3 may actually have been a little bit lower, maybe here. This is some kind of wave 4, 335 wave 4 possibly, and then a further wave 5 down to take us lower again. So that's very important that we had an apparent end to wave 3 here, but I actually think, because this was also a correction here, some kind of correction here, so typical wave 4, and then a wave 5 down within wave 3 to finish wave 3, then another wave 4, and now possibly another push down. So again, it's aligning, the Elliott wave count is actually aligning now with the divergent signals. Litecoin, once again, we had some nice signals here. So we clearly got here some this was regular bullish divergence where basically we've got a reversal in price here. So we had lower lows in price, higher lows in corresponding RSI. That's regular bullish, telling us price was going to go up. Precisely what happened, but it's gone up in 3 waves. So again, we may have to just move those labels further along. So maybe, although it looked a beautiful wave 3. I mean, it really does look like wave 3 here. So I'm very, very surprised. But it's possible that we just have to move these along. The reason I really like this wave 3, it wasn't 1.618, it was actually 2.618, which is the second Fibonacci extension, but it's precise. And the price here went precisely to that level. So I would normally like to have labeled that as wave 3, this 4 and this 5. That could still be the case. So let's just see. I'll leave that there for the time being. So we're starting to see a couple of kind of mixed signals that either the correction is over or it's close to over. We may get one more push down. If that's the case, we just need to move these labels along one more place. So the correction is complete here, or we may have one more dip lower to complete the correction, but we are close. We'll move on to the S&P 500. The S&P 500, I don't see any divergent signals here. We've got lower lows in price, but corresponding lower lows in RSI. So I don't see any divergent signals there over any particular time frame. So looking at the moment as the way is still open to potentially higher in the S&P. I do have targets above. If I moved over to the daily, we'll see my target not that far above. You can see I've got a target higher. So the S&P is currently potentially still working on this final fifth wave to the upside. This should be a long-term turning point once the fifth wave is over, but it's a very messy fifth wave. Hard to actually work out the Elliott wave count within it. I've got a target using Fibonacci extensions of 7,100 and something. Let's just see if price continues to rise there. So at the moment, S&P remaining bullish. I just look briefly at gold, because on gold we do actually have, once again, I'll go back to the 4-hour, we do actually have a bearish divergence signal here, regular bearish divergence. So with higher highs on price, corresponding lower highs on RSI, we may well get the turnaround. And we did say that this was potentially a wave 3. So we've got on a small account 3, 4, 5. That completes a larger wave 3. Could give us a turn down anytime soon, but we still have after that more highs to come. So any pullback for me will be buy the dip opportunities. Finally, we'll look at dollar index. So the dollar index is the dollar measured against a basket of other currencies. So again, we have here some hidden bearish divergence where we've got lower highs on price, higher highs corresponding RSI, telling us from this point here, the dollar is likely to fall against this other currencies, the basket of other currencies. Precisely what happened. So we're seeing that dollar fall. Don't know how long that will continue. RSI is right in the middle of the range at the moment, so it's not telling us anything. Actually, price could, from this point, could potentially go either way. But whilst at the moment we have potentially 3 waves higher, then at the moment this could continue to the downside. We do have this hidden bearish divergence. So the dollar could continue to the downside, which might possibly give the other cryptocurrencies and assets some support, because weaker dollar short term often corresponds and correlates with stronger risk asset prices. So I guess to conclude for today, I think actually we have mixed information at the moment. There is some bearish signals. But even if we do see some downward movement, I think it'll be short-lived, because I think we're probably getting close to a turning point on crypto if we're not already there. So I remain bullish. I think that longer term, we're going to see some bullish movement. So I'm not looking to sell markets at the moment. I'm actually looking to buy dips if we see any further drops. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it gives you some sort of guidance on where you should be positioned. And yeah, look forward to catching up later this week. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.